All right. What is grit? I mentioned this word a couple of times in the previous lessons of this module. But now let's really talk about what grit is, all right? Boiled down simply, it's the unique quality that makes you willing and ready to commit yourself to your long-term goal and pursue them despite any adversity that you face. All right? Any adversity, it is that raw just will. Just will. Whenever I think of grit, I think of one of my favorite movies, John Wick. And whenever one of the bad guys talk about him, they always describe John Wick as a man of focus. Man, I forgot. I should know this. I watched this movie so many times. A man of focus and sure will. There was another one in there. But basically, what they were saying is John Wick is just a man of, I think devotion and sure will. I might be wrong with that. I'll fix that in another chapter because I'm not going to edit this out. But basically they're saying John Wick was a man of grit. No matter what was in his way, his laser focus, his sure will, his determination, his discipline. This is grit. This is grit, and it is necessary. There's no getting around it. There's no getting around it at all. All right? It's defined as having a firm character and an indomitable spirit. Can't be broken. This spirit is, it's what happens when an immovable force meets not movable force. Like, no matter what, it's just, you're not going anywhere. Your spirit's not breaking. Nothing's forcing you out of the way. You will move everything in your way out of the way. All right? It means that gritty people have a resolute attitude. Sorry. I'm getting that out. I get so excited about talking about grit because it's something that a lot of people don't talk about and a lot of people don't realize that they need. So that's why I get so excited when I talk about it. That and passion. You know what I mean? I'm passionate about grit and I'm passionate about passion. But let's get back to it. They have a resolute attitude and stay firm on the decision that they make. Unbending. Renowned American psychologist Angela Duckworth has thoroughly researched the subject and has made many discoveries on grit. She states that if you have grit, you have the passion for the goals that you pursue, and you have the perseverance to go after it, in spite of the challenges and setbacks that you might experience. She also discovered that those people who lack grit fail to reach and fulfill their potential, even when they're incredibly talented. Remember, I told you, not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur, but anyone can be an entrepreneur. If you're talented, it does not give you the ability to become an entrepreneur. If you're smart, it doesn't give you the ability to become an entrepreneur. It's those traits and those 6 P's, those 7 traits, those 6 P's, and grit. All right? Grit is huge. You can be as talented as you want. Without them, it doesn't matter. That talent goes to waste. And now, while the exact essence of grit is still elusive, still all over the place, there are some significant characteristics of grit that you have to possess in order to be genuinely determined and tenacious and find entrepreneurial success. So, I want to talk to you a little bit about the characteristics of grit. To fulfill every goal that you set and find entrepreneurial success, you must possess the following essential characteristics of grit. I'm going to cover them quick. I won't stay on them for too long because we still have way much more to talk about with grit. It's a huge lesson a huge topic in this lesson. So I won't dwell on it for too long, but let's move along. The first characteristic, bravery and courage. Courage is a tough element to measure because there's no scale on measuring courage, but it's directly related to grit. The braver you are, the grittier you become. Being brave and courageous means that you can mitigate your fear of failing and you aren't afraid to move forward despite the hardships that you experience. The super gritty people, they're not afraid to tank. They're not afraid to fail. That's what makes them so damn scary. Instead, they embrace their fears as an inevitable part of the process. They know they're going to fail somewhere, but they know that that's part of the process. And they know they're going to get back up. People who possess grit understand that to accomplish their goals, they need to go through defeat and experience failure at some point in their life. And they understand that they can learn valuable lessons from their past failures and mistakes. They know that they know that perseverance is a prerequisite for high accomplishments. And having the nerve to face your fear is a prerequisite for being gritty. Alright? You can't have grit without courage. Basically, what that whole thing is. You can't have grit without courage. Now, remember we talked earlier about risk taking. When I say being fearless, when I say being fearless and being courageous doesn't mean to jump into things half-assed and just say, it's going to be okay, I'm not afraid. That becomes stupidity. That becomes foolishness. Remember earlier, I think the video right before this, we talked about calculated risk. Alright? Now, it doesn't mean to procrastinate doing all the calculations forever, because you'll never get it done. But get the knowledge that you need. Calculate the risk. Go ahead. Push forward. Or like Nike would say, just do it. Alright? That's courage. Taking calculated risk. Knowing that there is a chance for failure, but not being afraid to go all in. That's courage. There's a big difference between courage and stupidity, and I need you to understand that. Alright? Contentiousness is the trait that is most closely linked with grit. There are two types of contentious people: the achievement and goal-oriented ones and the self-controlling ones. Now, if you're a goal and achievement-oriented individual, you'll stick with your mission until you accomplish all of your goals. However, if you aren't an achievement-oriented individual, you don't have the drive to move forward and achieve your goals. To have grit, you have to be contentious to the extent that you chase your goals until you accomplish them. See it all the way through. Resilience. On a long journey to accomplishment and success, it's inevitable that you will stumble and fail or fall. If you have grit, you'll be able to pull yourself back up and eventually achieve your goals that you have set for yourself. This is known as resilience. Resilience is described as the capacity to maintain and stick to your core purpose, as well as to maintain your integrity when you encounter surprises. Now, the reason why I say maintain integrity, because Mike Tyson said it best: everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. If you don't know who Mike Tyson is, then I don't know what to tell you. But when you think of a great boxer, one of the greatest, Mike Tyson stands up there. You know, he comes up in that conversation. So if you don't know who Mike Tyson is, you go Google him, okay? But let's get back to it. Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Now, once you get punched in the face, what do? Do you stay down? Do you quit? Or do you get back up and continue to fight? Now, here is where the integrity comes in. When you get back up and fight, are you going to start fighting dirty? Are you going to start throwing low blows? Are you going to start biting people's ears off? That's also a reference to Mike Tyson. Are you going to stick to your integrity? Are you going to keep being true to yourself as you get back up and fight? Are you going to still fight by the rules? Are you still going to do what's right? Because victory can come fighting dirty. You can win fighting dirty. But will you be able to look yourself in the mirror the next day? Will your brand be tarnished? Your personal brand and your business's brand? How do you want to be known in the business world when you're when it comes push to shove, are you gonna be that business owner or entrepreneur that fights dirty, that hurts those around them? Now that comes with resilience, and they always say that the most dangerous animal is a wounded animal. So when you fall, do you become that wounded animal that will fight dirty, that hurts others around you? Or will you pick yourself back up, stand up in your pride, poke your chest out, reassess the situation, keep your integrity and your pride intact, and continue to be the great entrepreneur you know you can be? And I really need you to think about that, all right? Resilience is a unique combination of confidence, creativity, and optimism. When combined, these two qualities give you the power to reevaluate various situations and regulate your emotions. Your confidence in these abilities give you the belief that you can influence your surroundings and the outcome of different events. Your creativity is what helps you identify your meaningful purpose, and your optimism helps you understand that both the negative and the positive experiences in life help you to continue, grow, and learn. Negative and positive experiences. Take them both, because they're both coming. But don't let the negatives weigh you down and the positives lift you up. Let the negatives lift you up as well. What experience did you gain? What new lesson did you learn from that negative experience? And how will you use it to catapult your success? To catapult you to success. All right? That's optimism. Endurance and setting long-term goals. That's what we talked about with grit. It's being able to persevere through it, right? So now, let's talk about those long-term goals. Another prominent characteristic to those that have grit, they also possess endurance. Now, endurance and resilience, they kind of go the same, right? But when you're following the path of successful entrepreneurs who have the ability to endure all the roadblocks, challenges that they experience, and still stay committed to achieving their long-term goals with integrity, along with having endurance and perseverance, being gritty requires you to set long-term goals and follow them through. To achieve success in life, you have to have long-term goals, and you must chase them to the very end in life and business. And you have to be willing to invest long hours into your work and practice what you do best until you master it. This will allow you to eliminate all the obstacles in your path and achieve your goals eventually. It's necessary that your practice has some purpose, or your why, or your passion, or you will end up spending your time engaging in activities for no reason. When you don't have a purpose, or a passion, or a why, or aim in life, you can never become successful. To succeed at something, you have to have an ultimate goal that you want to reach. Your lifelong objectives provide you with the framework and context you need to find the value and meaning in your long-term efforts that help you to cultivate sustainability, drive, stamina, passion, courage, and grit. All right? Now, this will be the third time that you hear me talk about this. We talked about it as one of the 6 P's. We talked about it as one of the 7 traits of an entrepreneur. Now, we're going to talk about it as one of the characteristics of a gritty person. And guess what just made another appearance? The word passion. Passion's not going anywhere. It's one of the biggest things that are going to motivate you in your business. It is a mindset behemoth. You have to have it. Passion. When you're passionate about something, you become committed to achieving those things. Passion is another significant characteristic of grit. And for you to become entirely dedicated to achieving your goals, you need to be passionate about them. This is because passion is what gives you the drive and compelling force to pursue even the most challenging task. Your passion is what motivates you to continue pushing your goals. It keeps you going through the challenges and setbacks and keeps you devoted to accomplishing your goals even in the worst case scenarios. Being passionate about something is essential to becoming gritty. your passion, your why, your drive. All right? Now, those are the characteristics of grit, or an entrepreneur that is gritty. All right? Next, we'll cover why you need to develop grit to become successful. I'll see you then. You guys keep hanging in there with me. I hope you're getting something out of this. If you are, drop something in the comments, all right? I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear about your experiences with these characteristics, where you feel you're weak at, where you feel you need to build at, all right? I'll see you guys in the comment sections, or not.